Okay, how about now? Let's see if that works. Waiting for it to come back around on the guitar string. Okay, how about now? All right. Now y'all can hear me. Okay, great. Let me move that just a little bit. Well, actually, does that work? Looks like a 30-second delay, so. That just a little bit. Actually, does that work? Looks like a 30-second delay, so. Told you. All right, so. Alright, so we are live. Give me just a minute. Post it on our Facebook. Oh, there's a SpaceX launch coming up too. So, okay. Interesting. Wow. Y'all can see that. Alrighty. Oh, there's a SpaceX launch coming up too. So, okay. All right. And there's that. Send to a friend of mine who's, I think he's up in Ohio. I think he's still up in Ohio. Can you, if you're still up in Ohio, you can listen and watch on YouTube. Probably shouldn't drink a carbonated beverage before a net, but I do me. Alrighty, let's move all of our good stuff over here. And hello, John. Got you. I will check you in. You can check into the net or on YouTube or both. That's fine. I guess you're in Knoxville, John. There you go, John. YT for YouTube. Alrighty. So just a little heads up. We're going to talk a little bit about the Morgan County tornado that happened a couple of weeks ago. Go over some spotter training classes coming up in the region. Things are starting to ramp up. Talk about reporting criteria. I've also got a severe weather checklist that I received from the Alabama Storm Chasers, who, believe it or not, they're not all of them are ham operators. They are storm chasers. So, but they do have a checklist for those who might find it useful to have emergency supplies in case of a severe weather event. So let's see here. Pardon me. Alrighty. We go live in 2 minutes. Got Windows 11 on this machine, and I don't like how you can't just see the clock anymore. It used to be you could see the clock with the time on it. It doesn't look like you can do that anymore. So at least not easily. Let me give the 1 minute warning. This is K4HSM. K4HSM District 5 SKYWARN Training Net will begin in about 1 minute. Alrighty. I think you all can. Yep. Y'all can still hear me. Yeah, I finally figured out how to do a little picture-in-picture thing, so at least you don't see just a static image, some boring stuff. You can actually see me in the lower corner. Looking a little animated. So.
KQ4DIJ, I see your logs up there. You can throw me on right away if you want. We'll be here. Had a beautiful ride today.
Ah, he's back from Ohio. Beautiful Boyd's Creek. Got you in there, Ken. Thank you, sir. Stand by. Also, forgive the mess behind me. It's, you know, we are in transition, trying to reorganize some stuff in the room. Hopefully, here in the next couple of weeks, the background will look a little more presentable. Hopefully, by the next time we do a live stream. Attention all stations, attention all stations. This is K4HSM, assuming net control as WX4TYS in Knoxville. For the East Tennessee SKYWARN District 5 Training Net on 146.940 repeater. All traffic will be directed via net control. Got a belch. This net is open to anyone and everyone. Tonight's net will consist of announcements and a brief training segment. We will take check-ins throughout the net. Are any of the SKYWARN District 5 coordinators on frequency? And if so, please check it now and indicate if you have any announcements.
Good evening, Greg, and everybody on the net. This is AA4WX, Josh, down Eagleton Village. No traffic to the net.
Acknowledging AA4WX, Josh in Eagleton Village. Got you in there from Blount County. Any other District 5 coordinators? All right, nothing heard. Any other coordinators from other districts? Call now. We'll stand by. WX4TYS. All right, nothing heard. Couple of announcements here. First off, we are doing a live stream on YouTube, so if you are unable to check in or are just monitoring, listening, you can check us out at the YouTube link. It is it's on our Facebook group, but if you don't have access to Facebook, if you do a search on YouTube for East Tennessee SKYWARN D5 Training Net or words to that effect, you should be able to find it pretty easily. So join us there, and we'll take some check-ins from that as well throughout the evening. And another announcement, we'll be doing a presentation. Myself will be presenting SKYWARN nets on Monday, that's March the 10th, a week from tomorrow. It's at 6 o'clock. It's for the J-Cares group, Jefferson County Aries. It's at the Jefferson County Public Safety Building, located just to the west of the Jefferson Memorial Hospital on the west edge of Jefferson City. So if you have nothing better to do next Monday, come out and watch us give a presentation on how we do our SKYWARN nets here on this repeater. And we'll take a standby. Are there any other announcements for the net? If so, call now. WX4TYS.
4WX.
Thought you didn't have anything. Yeah, go ahead.
I do want to note, Sevierville Hamfest is not this upcoming weekend, but the following weekend. I'm trying to pull the date on it. March 18th. No, that's not right. This is an old one. Trying to find the date for it, but it is not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after on Saturday morning.
Yeah, that'll be March 15th. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me. So, hopefully we'll be out there. I may be doing a presentation during that meeting. During that Hamfest. I can't remember if they've asked me to do one or not. We did one last year in the middle of a very noisy room because the space that we thought we were going to get was occupied by the exams. They were handing out new licenses left and right. Apparently they had a really big turnout for the licensing last year. So good on them. But we had a good turnout for those that could hear me. If you know me, you know that that's not a difficult thing. Libraries hate me. So we'll see if we got something of that ilk going on as well. But I know at least I'll try and be there in the tailgate section in the Boneyard. So certainly check us out there. Any other announcements? Call now, WX42S.
Quick comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
I saw it, but I'm not sure if they're starting yet. And I haven't talked to anybody yet on the Hamfest, but they're going to tear down the barns and put for the fair this year and have tents for all the animals and stuff because they're going to redo the barns. So I'm not sure if they're going to have barns there when you get there. So just FYI, that's something I saw that might be happening soon. KQ4DIJ, go ahead.
I've not heard that, but my understanding is the barns will be there. There's going to be indoor vendors, so if anybody's got any info on that, let me know. We'll stand by. WX4TOS. That's news to me. I didn't know they were. I would have thought they would have given us a warning if they were going to do something like that. All right, nothing heard. Well, Ken, we'll find out when we get there. So hopefully they've not begun the process, especially if they know that we're going to have some indoor vendors in there. So there's usually a pretty good turnout from some of the more notables. I think the Wireman and Chat Radio and a Tower, a couple of others are frequent flyers of that Hamfest. So I certainly hope they're not going to try and make it difficult this year. But I appreciate that. We'll keep an eye on it when we get over there. Any other announcements? Call now, WX4TYS.
I got a comment. Can I go for LMK?
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as I know, they've not started that process yet for the Hamfest. And yeah, if you want to give a presentation, I'll give you a formal invitation right now.
Okay. Invitation accepted. Well, do you have my phone number?
Negative. I'm mobile right now, so. But are you good on QRZ?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm good on QRZ. If you want to give me a buzz there, and I'll give you a call tomorrow. We can work out the gory details. Over. Looks like I'm going to the Sevierville Hamfest.
Well, put me on the list, and we're standing by. KO4 LMK.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir. And LMK, let me know. K for HSM. All right. We'll take a standby here real quick. Any other last calls for announcements before we start doing check-ins? No, stop right here. All right, nothing heard. At this time, we will start with short time stations. If you don't plan on listening through the duration of the net, or if you think I'm going to bore you to sleep, you can check in now. This is WX4TY. Standing by. Everybody's on caffeine. All right. All right, nothing heard. We'll go ahead and start taking the standard check-ins. When you do check in, one at a time, please. Give your call sign, name, and location, and we'll put you in the log. This is WX4TY. Standing by.
Net control, KR4AXE, Joe, Sevierville. WB4GBI, repeater.
All right, acknowledging Joe, KR4AXE in Sevierville. Got you checked in. Also got John checked in from the YouTube stream. So thank you, sir. That was KB0JH. All right, and Ken, I got you checked in already. KQ4DIJ. So any others? Call now. Next check-in. Could be a quiet night.
Net control. Net control. This is Kilo Quebec 4, Quebec Charlie Juliet, KQ4 QCJ, Caleb in Tellico Plains. Good evening.
Acknowledging Caleb in Tellico Plains, KQ4 QCJ. Is that not Morgan, Monroe County or McMinn County? I can never remember.
Yeah, that would be Monroe County. Every bit of it. I think it would be Northwest Monroe County, the way Noah calls it, but it's more south central than anything. But anyway, back to net control. KQ4 QCJ.
Roger that. Thank you, sir. Yeah, just I'm doing a little county slot on my check-in list. Just kind of keep that in mind when I'm taking these check-ins. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Standing by for the next check-in. This is WX4TYS, District 5 SKYWARN Training Net. Oops.
Net control. Please check in Whiskey 8, Bravo Romeo Delta. WBRD, Bill over here in Jefferson County.
Okay, we had a double there. I got W8BRD Bill in Jefferson County. Thank you, sir, for checking in. Who was the other station?
Hey, that was me, KC8LUB, East Knox County, Midway area. Bill always steps on me there. I don't know. He likes me underneath his feet there, I guess. Makes him mad.
Normally, people catch themselves, but this was that one exception. But thanks for checking in, sir. Got you in there. Next check-in, call now. Well, quiets. That's normal. Things will pick up here shortly. All right, nothing heard. Excuse me. All right. Tonight we have a couple of things to discuss. One will be the recent weather net we did. The one that spawned the deadly tornado up in Morgan County. Then I'll go through some upcoming SKYWARN spotter classes that are scheduled. There's been some new ones added. And then, of course, beware the Ides of March. We are now starting to enter some ramped up severe weather months. The next 3 to 4 months ahead should be pretty interesting. And I'm going to also discuss a severe weather checklist that everyone should have as just a backup safety plan there. But, and maybe as time permitting, open it up to standard discussions. So first thing I will talk about is the upcoming SKYWARN classes. So, just give you a heads up, the next one coming up will be March 13th. That is on a Thursday. Thursday the 13th at 7 o'clock in Roane County at the Rockwood Community Center. You can contact Cliff Seeger, KD4GT, for registration. He can be found on Gmail. His username is KD4GT.TN. So you can reach him there to put yourself on the list to attend a SKYWARN class in person there. Next up, a week later, on Thursday the 20th, will be Bradley County down in Cleveland. Walker Valley High School will have one at 6 o'clock. Then following that, in Jasper, Tennessee, at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. Jasper's in Central Time Zone. For Marion County, they're going to have one at the Lawson Building in Jasper, so you can contact Steve Lamb for that one. For Bradley County, if you like, you can contact Steve Weber, who's KA4ELN. He's the district coordinator for District 3, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Then the one in Marion County is on March 27th. That's also a Thursday. Want to put that out there as well. Then on Thursday, April the 3rd, Cott County will have one in Newport at the Cott County Professional Development Center on East Broadway. Walter Cross is the point of contact for that. Then after that will be April 22nd, which is on a Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be Greene County up in Greenville, Tennessee at the Emergency Ops Center on CCU Boulevard in Greenville. Heather Sipe, SIPE, she is the contact for that session. And then next up in Morgan County will be on the 24th. That's on a Thursday at 6 o'clock at the EOC up there in the it's on Ralph Hamby Lane. That will be in Wartburg. And Ethan Webb is the point of contact for registering for that one. Sure, that will be more of interest to those up in that neck of the woods because of the recent events. And finally, Unicoi County will have a spotter class on May the 8th. That'll be on a Thursday. That'll be at 6 o'clock at the Old Armory Building on Main Avenue in Irwin. Probably have a good turnout there as well because of recent events. District Coordinator Justin Ferris, KE4 PCX, will be the point of contact for that session if you want to register for that one. And you can visit their website, weather.gov/MRX, to look up the SKYWARN spotter classes. We have a link on our website at etskywarn.com, and this list does change. I know it's changed at least twice since I last saw it last Wednesday, so definitely keep tabs on it. There should be some sessions coming up pretty soon in more counties, so definitely keep an eye for that. And also, just note, the classes are free, and they last about 2 hours. So, just FYI, if you've never attended one. Does anybody need any fills for the sessions I read off? This is WX4TYS.
Good evening. If you can hear me, I'm a late check-in. This is KR4BOT, Kilo Romeo 4, Bravo, Oscar Tango
Acknowledging KR4BOT up in Greenville. Yeah, you're coming in. You're a little bit of white noise, but other than that, you're perfectly readable into the repeater. Yeah, we got one in Greene County. Did you need the information on that one?
No, actually, I saw the listing on Facebook, and I signed up for it earlier today, actually, and just checking in and checking out. I want to continue watching your broadcast here on YouTube.
I'm a celebrity. All right, thank you, sir, and good to hear you tonight. Real quick, what's your name? Sounds like a new ham. Call sign is. Oh, you jumped right out. Okay. He jumped right out. We'll look him up on KRZ later. All right, thank you, KR4BOT. Thanks for checking in from Greenville. Got you on the log. All right. Any other announcements or Phil's requests for that list of SKYWARN spotter classes? WX4TY is standing by.
AA4WX.
Yeah, go ahead.
Forgot to mention, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we do have a theoretical chance at some thunder boomers. We have been under the risk area a few times. However, they've taken us out as of right now. So just everybody keep an eye on the forecast over the next couple days in case it changes. We could have some strong storms on Tuesday night there. Over. WB4GBI repeater.
We talked about this on a previous recording. Don't believe the social meteorologist. All right, Josh, thank you, sir. Got you with that one. Yeah. Everyone, just be mindful when you start hearing about these posts on social media or wherever you might do the warning signs, the real warning signs when they come in. So just be mindful when you start. Seeing videos or social media posts. Seeing videos or social media posts like that. Big storms coming 2 weeks away or something to that effect. Just be mindful that these models are checking on patterns from computer models. They're looking at patterns and potential, and the real effects are probably not going to be seen for at least 72 hours out. But I mean, it's good to be prepared, but it's not something that you should take with a lot of consideration until you start getting closer to the until you start getting closer to the actual time of the events. Then you start to see what the actual effects are. So, like Josh said, right now it looks like it's not as severe as what they were predicting just a couple of days prior. So, but still be mindful. Make your plans accordingly if you're going to be working outdoors or you're going to be having events that could be affected by the weather. So definitely be prepared. Just don't be don't be in this mode where you're in a panic situation because somebody on YouTube told you that you should be. And thank you, Chris, for checking in. Got you on the list there. That was Chris from Greenville. Got his check-in on YouTube. All right, thank you, sir. All right, with that, Josh, did you have anything else to add on that?
Nope, you hit it pretty spot on, but it is probably a good thing to know. I think everybody knows this, but we are now in March. It could be officially now considered severe weather season, and we'll be in it through June. So time for everybody to re-up their SKYWARN if they haven't already, and just be aware of keep an eye on forecasts on a weekly basis going forward. Back to net, AA4WX.
You should do it on a daily basis, I would think, not a weekly, but but yeah, definitely be weather aware. Just don't be alert mode for every little thing. Not every thunderstorm is severe. So some of them, I mean, thunderstorms are to be taken seriously, because of the lightning potential, but not every thunderstorm is going to have high winds or tornadic activity or hail. It's just, it's East Tennessee in the spring. All right. With that, let's see. We'll take another standby for check-ins. If you like to check in, please call now. WX4US.
Kilo Quebec 4, November Papa Victor.
Kilo Quebec 4, November Papa Victor. Name and location, please.
It's Mike up in Clinton.
I knew that. All right, Mike. I knew that. Thank you, sir. Good to hear you. Hope to see you at the Sevierville Hamfest next weekend, or a week from Saturday. But we'll be looking for you if you are planning to attend. Next check-in, please. Yes.
There's a stink bug.
Okay. I'm in the middle of something.
Okay.
Okay. All right, K for HSM as WX for TYS, and I had to pause real quick. My daughter had an emergency. She's got a stink bug in her room, so I told her it's going to have to wait. Some things just supersede others when it comes to priorities, but that is not one of them. Anyway, with that, we'll move on. Discuss the last SKYWARN net that we actually had about 2 weeks ago. It was pretty spectacular when you look at what happened. I wouldn't say it caught us off guard. We were pretty much prepared for it, but the direction of travel and the location of some of these tornadic events was a little bit surprising. We had over 100 reports that came in, many of which were relayed to the Weather Service, and hopefully they were put on the local storm reports. Most of them were. I'm pretty certain of that. Of course, this one had the unfortunate happenings of dropping a tornado in Deer Lodge. I'm hoping I got that right. Josh, was it Deer Lodge?
Yeah, it's Deer Lodge.
Thank you, sir. I keep wanting to say Deer Creek for some reason. I don't know why I can't get that out of my head. But it's Deer Lodge. We had 2 fatalities from that. Mother and daughter. It was unfortunate, but it was something that does happen. You can't necessarily prevent everyone from making it through, but can certainly try to make them aware. Off the cuff there, a good friend of mine was calling a basketball game at the Sunbright High School. I think it was Sunbright versus Wartburg, and they evacuated the gymnasium and sent everyone to a room downstairs where they had shelters. Very good call on their part. Tornado passed about 4 miles north, I believe. So, but everyone was fine there. And after the tornado had passed, they continued with the basketball game. So, business as usual. This is our log from that night, by the way, what you're seeing on the screen here. So, I meant to check and see how many check-ins we had from this, how many unique calls we had, but like I said, we had over 100 reports, but this probably came from about 60 or 70 different stations. So thank you to everyone who participated. We also went on 2 different repeaters. We had this repeater here, and then we also used the 736 repeater. Josh helped me out tremendously, because at first I was able to do both frequencies, monitor both, but as the situation got more intense in Morgan County, he took over on the 736 repeater. we often are on that repeater to handle some of the traffic from the stations that are in the northern parts of the state that might not be able to make it into this repeater because of the terrain. Some of them are just on HTs, and they can hit the 736 better than they can the 9.4 repeater. Now my allergies are starting. Ugh. Maybe that stink bug. One critique that I had was upon myself. As things started to ramp up, so did my auction voice. I started to talk really fast as I was trying to read off the warnings, read off the information, read off the reports that we had received, get information. I started to talk really fast. I caught myself doing it, and I had one of my assistants actually call me, or actually sent me a text and reminded me to calm it down just a smidge. So I am being more aware of trying to be a little bit slow. Not too slow, obviously. I don't want to sound like I'm on a morphine drip, but did want to try and give the information in a timely fashion as fast as I can without running over my tongue. So anyway, I did want to just again show some appreciation to everybody that checked in. All your information did help the Weather Service. We also had a second tornado that dropped down in Granger County. I believe that was an EF1. The one in Deer Lodge was an EF2 to EF3. And I believe the damage from that might have some of the structural damage is why it wasn't more severe. I think, Josh, you may have it more than I do. I believe it was an EF2, but they were thinking about upgrading it to EF3 based on some of the damage.
WB4GBI repeater. Yeah, the Deer Lodge was an EF2, and then the Hawkins County, I think it was, that one was an EF1.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, so definitely pretty active night, pretty exciting night. And one of my assistants is a couple of miles north of me, north and to the west. That cell that hit Morgan County passed through his area, but it just passed north of me. I actually abandoned my station to get ready to take shelter. I ran upstairs to secure something that was out on the deck, and as I was doing that, I could actually hear it passing to the north of me. So it just missed me by maybe a quarter of a mile. It just went slightly to the north of me. Kind of surreal to have that happen, but it later went into Granger County and dropped the tornado near Bean Station. Minor damage, but no fatalities. While we got people here, did anyone have any comments about that net? Any critiques or anything in general that they wanted to discuss about it? The floor is yours. WX4TYS. Now's your chance to tell me I suck as a net control. Alright, nothing heard. Well, moving on, we will do a reminder for everybody on what we are looking for during severe weather season. And we have not really changed any of the criteria. We have made a couple of adjustments over the last couple of years due to circumstances, as we tend to do. Circumstances tend to warrant a change in policies and procedures, but they're somewhat minor. First, of course, we're always looking for tornadic activity. Tornadoes, wall clouds, funnel clouds. Anytime you see one, you definitely should report those. If you don't know what a wall cloud is, then you should attend a SKYWARN spotter class. They go through that criteria pretty well and give you the differences between a wall cloud, a shelf cloud, which is not a severe event, or not considered severe, but it can lead to some pretty intense rain and some winds. But definitely you should report tornadic activity when you're participating in the SKYWARN net. We're looking for winds. Wind reports 58 miles an hour or 50 knots is considered severe. We typically prefer measured, but you can do some judging by the environment as to how high the winds are. We do typically take reports of winds over 30 miles an hour, and that does change from time to time. If we start getting inundated with those reports, we may raise the criteria up a little bit, just to ease up on the traffic going to the net. But that's pretty much at the net control's discretion. Then we have hail, frozen precipitation that's coming down from the heavens. Any size report of hail we will take, whether it be pea-sized, golf ball size, or baseball size, doesn't matter. We take pretty much any hail report that you get, because even though it may be pea-sized hail and it may not be considered severe, if that particular cell intensifies, it could lead to larger hail downstream for those who are in its path. So definitely report any hail that you get whenever you experience it. The severe category for hail is quarter size, which is about 1 inch in diameter, about the size of a U.S. quarter. So that's considered severe. We ask that you not use marble size because marbles come in a lot of sizes, and some of them are pretty small. Others are about the size of pinballs. So I would expect you to use pinball sized hail instead. But try and go with U.S. coins or something of a consistent size, such as golf balls. And also, the National Weather Service does not look at marble size as a severe category. I think their official classification is 3/4 of an inch in diameter, which is not severe. So if a marble to you is about the size of a quarter, you need to say quarter. We're also looking at rainfall. If you get 1 inch an hour or 2 inches in 24 hours, then definitely let us know. Pretty much if you're getting a lot of heavy rain, visibility is limited to just a short distance. You're seeing water start to pond up on the roads or in the ditches and culverts, then you can let us know that. Measured, of course, is preferred, but if you're driving, obviously you may not have a weather station strapped to your roof, but sometimes it's a good judgment call. Just let us know that you're experiencing a lot of heavy rain and your visibility is limited, and we'll probably more than likely have that considered at 1 inch an hour rainfall rate. And of course, rainfall leads to flooding sometimes. Localized flooding is a big concern. Blocked roads, of course, what happened during the Tropical Storm Helene situation. Very extreme event, but we have had storms like that. We've actually had recently, this happened to me personally, where we've had storms. They were not severe thunderstorms. They were thunderstorms, but they drop a bunch of rain in one small area. It's like the storms build up and just drop the rain and then continue in a train effect. They train over the same area in a short period of time and just drop intense amounts of rain for about an hour plus. and that leads to flash flooding. So when you encounter any kind of flooding situation, you got flooded roads, you're noticing a flooding situation occur, definitely pass it along, and we will in turn relay that to the National Weather Service. WX4TYS. Next up will be storm damage from the winds, tornadoes, what have you, the flooding. If you have downed trees, uprooted trees and limbs, down power lines, damages to homes or vehicles, etc., any kind of noticeable, sizable damage, you can relay that information as well during one of the nets. Sometimes we may wait until after the severe weather has actually passed to take some of the damage reports. But if it's of an urgent nature, say that easily, urgent nature, such as a blocked road, possible injuries, damage, or causing a vehicular situation, tree in the road, things like that, definitely pass that on to us, and we will notify the correct. We'll notify the Weather Service and then see if we can contact the local 911. And some of the things that we don't necessarily take reports, or want to say that we don't want to flood the net with, is telling us like there's nothing to report. Some people will check in during a SKYWARN net and say that they have nothing to report. Now that's the caveat that we put onto that is, if you had severe weather in your area and you reported that, and then you report back to us and say that the severe weather has passed, that's good. That can also give us an idea of how large the system is and where it's moving, and how long the event is, if it moves over another area that we have a station located. So, but we would ask that you abstain from just checking in unless we actually take a call for check-ins. Sometimes it can get pretty intense. Now, if you're checking in from an area where there is severe activity, or like a possible tornado warning, if it's over a certain community and you want to check in from that community and let us know that you're there, absolutely, we will take check-ins. Usually what will happen is we will tell all of our stations, we'll tell them to take a standby, and we'll take reports from these areas that are affected, and then that would be a good opportunity to come and let us know where you're at and what you're seeing.
WB4GBI repeater.
I'm trying to find it where it's at on this presentation. I don't know why I cannot find it. It's because I'm on here. Another thing that we try to shy some people away from is saying that they heard on TV, or they heard on the scanner, or they heard it from somewhere else. But over the last couple of years, I've had to make a caveat to that, because many of us have family and friends that are in some of these areas. I personally have a family up in Claiborne County, and they're not ham operators, but they are weather spotters, and they don't have a ham radio license, but they know that I do, so they will send me text messages. So if you heard it from a family member, then yeah, obviously we need to know that. So just be mindful that sometimes when we hear about what could be happening in some part of our coverage area, we don't want to end up on a wild goose chase trying to track down something that may not exist, and ends up eating up valuable time that could be spent relaying weather reports and warnings out to the net. If you attend the JCARES meeting, you'll see some of these slides next week. So just be mindful of that. Like, if you have a family member that has information to report, yeah, we'll be happy to take that. So, like I said, I've done it myself. Like I said, I got family that's in some of these areas. I know many of you have family that are in some pretty tornadic prone areas. So, absolutely relay that information as needed. Any other comments or questions on this information? WX4TY, standing by. I feel like I'm just talking. Question, go ahead.
KR4AFC. Can you take the spotter class online?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you can. Thank you. I was actually going to bring that up previously and got sidetracked. Big surprise. Somebody telling me there was a stink bug kind of does that to you. But yes, if you go to the spotter training class list on the Morristown Weather Service site, at the bottom of the list, there is a link for virtual SKYWARN spotter training. And it consists of 4 interactive sections to complete, followed by a final exam that you have to take in order to receive credit. It's very easy. So when you get finished with the exam, it could take up to 2 weeks to get a spotter ID card and certificate. We don't require spotter IDs when you check into the net. It's good to have, and it lets us and lets the Weather Service know that you have received the training. But we're not going to sit here and ask for your spotter ID number. Some people do solicit that information, and that's absolutely fine. But it's not something that we require. So, but yes, you can take the virtual class. Now, this is the basic spotter class. I do know that Birmingham Weather Service is offering an advanced spotter class, and I want to say that's in March. I am going to have to go and find that if you let me, but I will locate that. But it's a it's on a higher level. Kind of goes in more into the weeds of what you see as a storm builds up, and some of the stuff even covers satellite data. Now, the Nashville Weather Service offers some. Sorry about that. They offer some Weather 101 classes. That'll probably come later this year, probably around August, September timeframe, I believe, is when they were offering them last year. But I expect them to be doing that again. They're just kind of like Weather 101 classes, last about 60 minutes, and they cover a variety of topics. Interpreting radar, interpreting some of the radar data, the satellite information, things of that nature. So be on the lookout for that later on this year. Does that help you out? God, my nose.
Thank you for that.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah, no problem. And we do have a link to the Weather Service page on our website at etskyward.com. If you have trouble finding it, let me know. Any other questions or comments? WX4TYS. Question, go ahead.
Can you repeat that URL again?
There's ours. It's ET, like East Tennessee, SKYWARN.com. And the Weather Service class schedule, it's weather.gov. I'll read it out slowly here. Weather.gov/MRX, Mike Romeo X-ray, /SKYWARN_classes. So weather.gov/MRX, like Morristown, /SKYWARN, the underscore, the word classes, all lowercase. QSL?
Yes, thank you.
And you're welcome. So, if you go to the website, etskywarn.com, you go down to the very bottom on the main page, and there'll be a link in the middle that says spotter class schedule. You can check that out as well. That'll take you to the same page. All right. Any other questions about the criteria or comments about it? WX42Is. All right, nothing heard. We'll take another round of check-ins, and then we'll go through a severe weather checklist here. When you check in, please go one at a time. Give us a call sign followed by your name and location, and we'll get you on the list. WX4TY is standing by. Okay, Patrick, I got you in there, but I didn't catch the last part of your call. I got Kilo Quebec 4, then the rest of it just kind of went into the noise. Say again, please.
Yes, that would be Kilo Quebec 4, India Delta Tango.
India Delta Tango. Thank you, sir. Got you in there. Kilo Zulu 4 Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Got you in there as well from Copper Hill. Thank you, Shane. Next check-in.
November 4 Juliet Alpha Bravo Joe, Greene County.
November 4 Juliet Alpha Bravo Joe in Greene County. Got you in there. Thank you, sir, for checking in. Appreciate you being in there tonight. Oh, I can't talk. Mealy mouth here. All right. Any other check-ins? Call now. WX4TY is standing by. District 5 SKYWARN Training Net. I don't know how I heard that. All right, Jim Bob got you in there from North Knox County, N4SDC. You're a little noisy tonight. Need to get your get your power up on that HT of yours. Over.
That's all they'll allow me while I'm in jail. N4SDC.
I will not ask any further. All right. Got Ken, KO4LMK as well. I already had you in there, Ken. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And just hadn't filled out the rest of it there. Any others? Call now. WX4TYs.
Kilo Quebec 4, November Juliet Tango. KQ4NJT, Jennifer in Madisonville, Monroe County.
WB4GBI repeater.
Acknowledging KQ4NJT, Jennifer in Madisonville. Thank you very much for checking in from Monroe County. You sound like you're mobile.
Yes, I am. I'm between Sweetwater and Madisonville.
Roger that. Mobile safely out there, and good to hear you tonight. Thank you for checking in. Any others? Call now, WX4TYs. Got some meatloaf in my teeth. Meatloaf in my teethers. All right, nothing heard. One last thing. Went up went down to Huntsville a couple of weeks, about 3 weeks ago for the Rocket City Weather Fest, and pretty good turnout. Not as big as it was last year or the year before when we went previously. But it did have a pretty decent turnout, and got some good information from a lot of people down there. One of them was the Alabama Storm Troopers. Hope I got that right. Alabama Storm Troopers. And they're a group of people they're not hams. I think they're looking at getting more organized and getting involved with ham radio in order to do their storm spotting. But they had a little card with a severe weather checklist, and I was going to read off what they pretty much had in their checklist, which is what everybody should have in case of any kind of emergency, not just necessarily a weather emergency, but what's good to have when needed, and I'll give you that information here. Starting off with helmets, like a bicycle helmet or a motorcycle helmet or some sort of athletic helmet. Probably should have one for every member of the family, especially if you're in a tornado-prone area. Of course, this is Alabama stormtroopers. They I think statistically get more tornadoes than we do on a regular basis. So if you're trying to come together with an emergency checklist, that's certainly one that you'd want to have is helmets. I don't know if you can get helmets for your dog, but have to look into that. When that weather system happened a couple of weeks back that dropped the tornado in Monroe County, we actually put our cats in the washer and dryer and shut the door on them just to keep them safe, just in case, because it looked like it was getting pretty intense. Next up is a sturdy pair of shoes, like work boots or something with good soles on them, so that you can safely walk through glass and debris. That should be an absolute given. If you're going to do any kind of damage, if you're walking through a bad neighborhood, a lot of, like, especially when it's been hit by a tornado, you're going to see splintered wood and framework from buildings, and you got nails sticking up, and definitely don't want to step on that. And if you have animals, you got to be careful with them as well. Make sure they're not walking on anything dangerous like that as well. You obviously want to have a first aid kit with extra prescriptions and non-prescription medications. So if you're on regular medication like I am, you might want to have some stored away in some sort of like a fireproof safe or some little box, so that you have it in case it's needed. Obviously, the next one here, a battery-powered flashlight with extra batteries. That's a good one to have as well. At least one or two good pairs of replacement batteries for that flashlight. We should all have this, a battery-powered radio or a weather radio. Many of you have an HT that can go into the 162 band of frequency ranges, and plug it into 162.475, and you'll get WXK46 out of Sharps Ridge here in Knoxville. You'll get that NOAA weather radio frequency. You might want to also look at other radio frequencies nearby. There's one up in La Follette. There's one up in Tri-Cities and one down in Chattanooga. Might want to have at least, if anything, if you got the space on your radio, have all of the weather radio frequencies programmed in so that you can switch between one to another. Because we have seen from time to time when the NOAA weather radio transmitters do go down, and that can happen at the worst possible time. Non-perishable food items containing protein, such as nuts and energy bars. Trail mix is a good one. Canned food with a manual can opener. I can't stress that enough. A manual can opener. Preferably one that is reliable. We've got a can opener upstairs right now that's about to get replaced because it can't open a can of peaches, much less anything else. So definitely get a manual can opener and have some non-perishable items at the ready. You should have one, I want to say 1 gallon of bottled water was the recommendation. Can never have too much bottled water. There's spring water and purified water. You might want to do purified water, but have bottled water for each person and pet. So I believe 1 gallon was recommended. If there's an adjustment on that, somebody can let me know. Have copies of your ID, such as your driver's license. Have cash and credit cards at the ready. They have what they call an emergency financial first aid kit. Might want to have some spare cash at the ready because in case you need it for, worst case scenario, if infrastructure does go down, you can have cash to spend on important items, water, food, comic books, more ham radios. See, I got comic books out here. Cell phone charger. A lot of these cell phone chargers come cheap, and some of them come about the size of a cigarette lighter. And I'm holding one up right now on camera, but might be good in emergency to make a 911 call. So you should have one at the ready and fully charged. Some of them are larger. Some of them look about the size of a cell phone. Some of them are, like I said, really small, compact. About as big as putting in a AAA battery or a AA battery. So they're not used. They're not intended for long-term use. They're pretty much for emergency purposes only. But they are good to have when your battery runs down on the cell phone. If you have kids, you should have baby supplies, diapers, baby formula, powder. Formula powder, I think, is another good thing to have. Clothing, extra blankets, and padding for the little one. So definitely have that on hand in your emergency kit, as well as a copy of a family emergency and communication plan. So if for some reason you and the family are separated out, like the parents are at work and the kids are at school, or someone's at the house, you're scattered all over the city, and a big tornado comes roaring through, and you're all scattered in different areas, you have a way to reach out to one another. Some people use Zello for their smartphones. Others, like mine, almost all of us have ham radio licenses, so we can use ham radio if necessary. So have a way to communicate to one another if there is an issue with infrastructure during an emergency.
Comment. Another comment, SDC.
Oh, I triggered somebody's nerves. Okay. Josh, go ahead. You're first.
Yeah, to the point about ham radio. Well, it's all about ham radio, but there's a lot of families that, the spouse or the kids, they're not confident, or they don't want to take the test, or they just don't want their ham radio license. It would not be a bad idea for all of us as hams to pick up our GMRS license. Those licenses do transfer to your family members, so God forbid we did have that scenario, GMRS would be a great avenue for you and your family to
Yeah, that's a good note. And some of these radios do transmit on GMRS. I don't know if they're designed to, but when there's an emergency, pretty much everything is anything goes. Especially in a life-threatening situation. So hopefully it wouldn't come to that, but yeah, there is that possibility. I do have a GMRS license, and that does cover everybody here too. All right. Let's see, Jim Bob, I think you had a comment.
Yeah, you said you were holding it up for the camera. Or is this a Zoom meeting also?
We're live streaming on YouTube, so I've got a camera showing me, and I need to get it properly centered. But yeah, I was showing one on that. One of these days we'll probably have ATV coverage, but until then, we're just doing it on YouTube right now.
What is that? Could you give out that YouTube link, please?
Well, I could, but it's very, it's very long. And you know how YouTube does their links. They have the uppercase, lowercase letters. If you do a search on YouTube for East Tennessee SKYWARN D5 Training Net, or some sort of mishmash of words like that, you should be able to find it. I typed in East Tennessee SKYWARN, and it was it was like the second video that came up.
Well, thank you very much. N4SDC.
You're welcome. And thank you for checking in tonight. Any other comments about the severe weather checklist? K4HSM. All right, nothing heard? All right, we'll open it up as we start to wrap things up. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything of concern or interest that they want to discuss, weather related? We will stand by for that. WX4TYS standing by. Who all is? How many? Oh, we got a grand total of 8 people watching. Okay, awesome.
Comment.
Comment, go ahead.
Yeah, WBRD here. Yeah, I just looked up the SKYWARN training there at Morristown, and they also had a link there, it looked like, for the advanced class as well. I was able to bring it up at that same website for Morristown there.
Okay, I'm looking right now. I don't see it, but I'll look for it again. Where did you spot it?
Hang on just a minute, and I'll double check, make sure I'm telling you correct. I went to the Weather Spotter training at Morristown, and I had an additional link I picked up there. Let me see if I can find out exactly where it's at, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm looking up the one for Birmingham as well, because like I said, I saw something where they were going to offer some advanced classes coming up. I'm trying to pull that up, and of course the page is moved. So yeah, here we go. I'm going to put this on screen as well here. Okay, so on Thursday, March the 27th, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Birmingham's, of course, Central Time. They do have an advanced spotter class scheduled. Now, this is for Birmingham, so it will be kind of specific. Some of that stuff will be specific to Birmingham and the Alabama area, but it's good information that we can all use. I've taken the classes. I've taken the class here before for Birmingham, as well as for, I think, for Nashville. They're both kind of the same, you know, focused a little bit on their areas, but pretty much overall has good information. But there's a webinar link that you click on to register, because it is an online training course, and they do offer online training for basic classes as well. But those are kind of more specific to the Birmingham, middle Alabama area where they are based out of. So it is preferred that you take the classes that are geared for East Tennessee, but it's not an absolute. But again, something to consider when you're looking up these classes. And if you want to take that advanced class, it is weather.gov/Bravo Mike X-ray BMX /SKYWARN. So again, weather.gov/BMX Bravo Mike X-ray /SKYWARN, all lowercase. It gives you a list of the classes and where you can register. It's a go-to webinar, like a go-to meeting, I think, link, and they use that for the online courses. They do have in-person. They have an in-person advanced spotter class in Fayette County, Fayette County at the Fayette Civic Center in Fayette, Alabama. So if you know where Fayette is, you can go down there and take an advanced spotter class. And just remember, they're an hour behind us, so when it says 6:30 to 8:30, it's actually 7:30 to 9:30 Eastern Time. So just be aware of that. Any other questions or comments? WX4TOS.
AA4WA.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm watching YouTube, and Shane had a question. Is it required to take the intro class before the advanced class? I did reply in the chat. I don't know necessarily if it's required to take the basic class before you take the advanced. However, it would be highly, highly advised to take the basic first. Not only that, you also have to, you're supposed to re-up your basic training every 2 years. So that would be my advice. Back to you, Craig.
Yeah, I would agree. It's not an absolute, but it is a recommendation, simply because they go through some advanced terminology that is discussed in the basic level. So if you have if you've taken the basic spotter class before, then you should be hopefully good to retain that information. But if this is their first time taking a spotter class, you should absolutely take the basic. And that's what the virtual classes that they offer from Morristown. The virtual spotter training class is a basic level class. You can take that virtual interactive class, and then go to take the advanced spotter class after that. And somebody's got a link to the well, it says they got a link there. I haven't seen it yet, but standing by for it, Billy. Thank you. Any other questions or comments, WX4TOIs?
Recheck, WBRD. Yeah, Mr. Greg, I put that in the chat window. I don't know if you can see it from there, but it looks like it is just the severe and basics and advanced for convectivity, I guess, for storms.
Okay, for some reason on my chat window it doesn't show. Josh, do you see it?
That's a negative.
Okay, Billy, if you wouldn't mind, try and repost the link, the URLs, and I'll check it out there. So thanks. Let's see. I thought I had one more thing to discuss, but I think we're good. At least until oh yeah. Well, I'll talk about next month's training. It is currently slated for April the 6th. Sunday, April 6th will be our next scheduled District 5 training net. And as far as, unless the weather prevents, if there's a weather situation, we may postpone it, but we will see. But real quick, Billy, if you just take the last part of that, if it's a YouTube link or whatever, well, yeah, take out the HTTPS stuff. Just see if you can go from after the weather.gov part, and hopefully that'll allow it to post. If not, you can send it to me in an email. I'll send you my email address.
WB4GBI repeater.
All right. So with that, last call for any late check-ins. Call sign, name, and location. This is WX4TYS.
Yes, KQ4, India Victor, Charles, West Knoxville.
Charles, I think you've got I think you've improved on your signal. I think the last time I talked to you, you had a bit of a rough time getting to the repeater. I don't think you have that problem anymore.
Roger that. Got a new radio. That was part of the problem.
Roger, you sound great. All right, thank you, sir, and appreciate you checking in. Next check-in?
Kilo Echo 4, Mike Charlie Delta,
Hey,
in
David.
West Knox.
Missing in action, David. Acknowledging KE4MCD. David in West Knoxville. Good to hear you, sir, and glad you were able to check in tonight. Hope everything's okay with the family there. Appreciate you being there tonight. Next check-in, please. Sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. Don't know what it sounds like. All right, nothing heard? I want to thank everybody for checking in. I want to thank WB4GBI, Tim Berry, for the use of the repeater. Provided a lot of information tonight. You can find us on the web at etskyward.com, and we have a Discord server. The link should be on the website. Or you can send me an email at the QRZ email address, and I'll send you a link to the Discord. And this will complete our training segment for this evening. And as a reminder, the training net is held on the first Sunday of the month at 8 p.m. local time here on 146.940. Again, April the 6th is our next scheduled net at 8 p.m. So hopefully we'll see you then. And with that, this is WX4TYS, now returning the repeater to normal use, K4HSM. Thanks a lot, and 7-3s. All right. Let's see if I can put this up here. Oh, can I do this? I'll just... oh, I'm too big. There's me. Okay. Alrighty. So with that, we'll sign off here from YouTube. I want to thank everybody for checking in and joining us on YouTube. We're going to try and make this a standard event to live stream our nets. We do have the previous net that I talked about with the Monroe County or the Morgan County tornadoes. That there is audio from that on this on my channel here, the Hockey Ham channel. In fact, I'll throw a link.
Thanks, Greg. Good net tonight.
you give me a second, I'll throw up a link to that audio recording if you want to hear it. And Tim Berry was able to provide us with that audio, and I was able to turn around and put it up on the YouTube. And yeah, Deer Lodge tornado. So here should be the link. And I'll see if this works. If it doesn't, then I'll do the last half of it there. But hopefully you should see that. But that's it's a 3-hour audio, but it spans over several hours. Let me pull that up. How long? Let's see. It started around 7 p.m. and it went on until about almost 11:30. Ended at 11:25. So you had about 4.5 hours, about 4 hours or so, give or take, of audio from that. All the gaps and slow activity were trimmed down. We still had a 3-hour audio file. So definitely check that out. You can find out how hairy things can get from time to time. It's only the audio from 694. The audio from 736, the 736 repeater, Todd Overbay's repeater, was not recorded. So again, here's the link for spotter training coming up. And I will post I'll share the window here in just a second with the advanced spotter class for those who are interested. All right, there's the advanced spotter class. And that's this one right here, Thursday, March 27th. And again, that's Central Time, so 7:30 to 9:30 Eastern. Be mindful of that. But thanks again, and we do have the possibility of some severe weather coming up later this week. Not as it looks like the forecast, from what Josh was saying earlier during the net, the forecast has kind of been toned down a little bit, but do keep an eye on things. Don't want everyone to let their guard down, but at the same time, again, just don't want to have that boy cried wolf syndrome where every weather event becomes a big emergency, and it's not just the social meteorologist, it's also in some cases the TV stations and some radio stations. You have some of these TV stations that have these weather aware days, and they some of them have some of them are real bombastic. Code red weather day. And there's even been the meteorologists that are on some of these TV channels that have called out their stations for the bombastic use of these terms. And they've been disciplined for it. Some probably got fired from their TV station for it. I'll have to find some videos on that. But yeah, I mean, it's good to be weather aware, but it's not good to make everybody panic because your interpretation of a possibility of what's going to happen a week or so out. I mean, it seems really over the top. I mean, anything can happen 10 to 15 days from now. I mean, 10 to 15 days from now, the models may say that we're going to have beautiful sunny weather. And then tomorrow, it'll say that we're going to have severe weather. And then the day after that, it says we're going to have snow. And then the day after that, it says we're going to have a heat wave. So, these models, they're good to have, and they're good to give us the patterns, the overall broad perspective of what could happen. But some of these people on social media putting some of this stuff out as it being the gospel, I don't think that's very good for anybody that's following weather or tracking weather. I think it's I think it kind of cheapens the usage of weather spotting programs. Also, I should have mentioned this on the net, and I didn't do it, and I'm going to kick myself for it. But I wanted to give a shout out to Margie Eisen, our local meteorologist. She wasn't a meteorologist; she was just a weather lady. But she passed away last week, and she was a noticeable fixture in the weather scene here in Knoxville on 2 different radio stations, Channel 6 WATE and Channel 10 WBIR. She was a weather lady for many years, and she did weather the old-fashioned way. She drew it out on a whiteboard, kind of a modern-day whiteboard, had a map of the U.S. and had her drawing these arrows and fronts and H's and L's and sunny. She had stickers or I guess magnets with the sun and the rain and the snow. You never wanted to see this. As a kid, I did. I wanted to see the snow magnet on the map, so that she could, so that pretty much meant we were going to get a snow day. But we didn't get those very often. But she was definitely one that was a fixture, and we even had an umbrella. Don't have it anymore, but knowing my mother, she's probably got one in the storage locker somewhere as an umbrella that said Margie said it would. So, but that was something that we used to have around these parts as well. But she will be missed, and they say that she started the weather spotting program here in East Tennessee. I don't have any records of it. It's in her obituary. If anyone knows more about that, because I watched her on TV, but this is before I became a ham operator. But she recognized the value of citizens reporting weather. She recognized the value of the people in the area telling her what the weather's doing. She saw the importance of it, and she had a guy in Crossville. She always talked about Steve Norris in Crossville. And I think he was in a wheelchair. I don't know if he's still around or not, but I think he's in a wheelchair. But he was religious with weather reporting from what's going on in Crossville. Not just to her, but also to Nashville. So, that was very important to her, and in turn, it was important to everybody. So she is missed. My brother, just a side note, he used to work in a grocery store in Fountain City, North Knoxville, and she came in there all the time. And her and my brother were on a first name basis, and she was pretty much the same in person as she was on TV, just always smiling. So I don't think anyone ever saw her have a bad day. So anyway, she will be missed, and we thank her for all that she has done for weather here in East Tennessee. So I should have talked about that on the net. Anyway, it's here on the video. You all have a great night. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. And if you have any questions or comments, you can email me, gregk4hsm@gmail.com. And come see me next Monday, a week from tomorrow, Jefferson County Aries meeting at the EOC. I'll be down there presenting, like I said, these slides on this presentation here. Some of these slides, we talk about the coverage of the repeater. Here's some of the, this is an updated map of all the district coordinators. And we'd love to have you. And if you can't make it for that, it looks like I'll be at the Sevierville Ham Fest doing a forum. So I look forward to it. I'm always happy to do that. We did one at the the Lakeways Club Ham Fest last year, we had a table there. Had a grand total of 2 people show up. I think one of them was forced to come over. Forced at gunpoint by Dale. I'm not sure on that. But the previous time we did it at Sevierville, had a lot of people show up, and it was a great crowd and it was a great day overall. So beautiful weather. When the sun came up, turned into a beautiful day. So hope to see you there. So with that, signing off. Y'all have a great night. 7 3s.